So we're going to have a great show for you tonight. This is the pre-show. The anti-racism protest that filled City Hall really should have been recognized more as the message rather than the fact that they were there. So London Breed just walked out on, which I thought wasn't. I wish she'd handled it differently. And welcome to SF Liberal Buzz. My name is Denise Dory. I'm your host here. I have a lot to cover about the anti-racism protest filling City Hall. Let's start off with a few comments about that. Now, it was an action that was needed, and City Hall sort of ignored them in ways I don't like so far. I mean, please call me and tell me they didn't. But it's like London Breed was the president of the Board of Supervisors, and she ended the session it would have been better if she'd said something to had addressed them face to face then when they came up there. Obviously they took the trouble to all assemble, and I hope they make this right. So don't hold your breath. And also know your rights if you're being arrested, if you're being detained. There's been a lot of enforcement in the Tenderloin. Knowing your rights, there's a pamphlet I've got here. If a cop approaches you, say, and you're not doing anything, you're just standing there and they approach you, you ask them if you're being detained first, if they actually make eye contact with you and talk to you. And then you ask if you're free to go. Those are the two things you should say. And after that, if they do engage you and get out the ticket book or whatever it is, the handcuffs even, you ask, I'm going to remain silent, and you want to speak to a lawyer. That's the third thing you're allowed to say. And the fourth thing you can say, or I do not consent to a search. And those are the four things you say to cops. And anything else, it's gonna make you sorry you spoke to them. They'll make you sorry. So don't do it. And that's know your rights. I see a lot of that in the Tenderloin. There's cops enforcing, doing a lot of enforcement against black people, and it's like the army of the rich, almost. It's shocking. I live on Eddy and Taylor on the first floor, and I can see it all. Sometimes I get my camera out, and I have made TV shows just showing people being detained by the cops. Now they want to take away the parking spaces on Eddy Street. It's another solution looking for a problem, the way I see it. I don't see why they need to take away the parking spaces. The argument was that it was drug activity in cars. So, And behavior shouldn't really dictate infrastructure. You know, they've got these parklets too that are being built, and some of them just really are sharp edges. I've mentioned this before on my show and on Twitter, where there's sharp edges of stainless steel that just really could hurt a person if they're not careful. So, and it blocks the sidewalk. And you know, the gyrocopter message, it's like his message was ignored too. You know, they talk about how could he get through onto the White House. Why didn't they say, why did he get so, he told them for years in advance he was going to do it, and why, and still his message was ignored. So that's why people go to what seems like excessive lengths, but are actually, how do you peacefully tell someone something when they won't read your email? And, you know, it just, so we have to get their attention somehow. And the United States Postal Service, the Republicans are looking to privatize that. So that's not a related topic. So, yeah, Black Lives Matter, that's the hashtag that the anti-racism protest. I just really got up and read about that, and I didn't go down there. I should have gone down there, but I didn't. So, now there was in the eviction realm, I'm going to get to that after I get to Twitter, but I wanted to start off with what really bugged me today about the protest at City Hall. The protest at City Hall just being sort of swept under the carpet, as it were, and the message not really being taken into account. Because yes, black people are unfairly profiled in the Tenderloin. It doesn't have to be Ferguson. People say, oh, it's not Ferguson. Well, come to Eddie and Taylor and, around at night and in the morning, and then have a look. So here's our new fugly infrastructure. I'm on Twitter now. Give me a follow and I'll follow you back. Denise Dory is my handle. It's now you see the here where the paint's peeling right there. It's and then there's tape on this side. They've got the siding taped on. It looks like so. Yeah, I guess I could make that bigger, couldn't I? Yeah, it's right here. So we've got that. It's just there used to be a pretty parking lot there. It's where everybody went after the country western bar let out. And there, see, that's all peeling. It's just, really? It's just, anyway. And let's see, we've got our last show was about the ballot initiative, and I hope you got to watch it. But the ballot, the MCLR, that's coming out. That MCLR is coming out. I'm going to do a report on that. Marijuana control. Let's see, Legalization and Revenue Act is going to. There's going to be petitions and fundraisers for that. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So I'm going to get back to Twitter. Give me a follow. I'll follow you back. Like I said, always follow you back. And farmers successfully defied Monsanto in El Salvador. So good for them. Let's spread it. Let's do it around the whole world. Monsanto is actually genetically modified cannabis and patented it. So, yuck. MCLR. There's a video about MCLR. That's John Lee. He's one of the one of the authors of it. The consultants, I guess. Now, 8,000 Latinos were displaced from the mission, and that's just intolerable. That information just hits you like a brick wall. We're fighting that with this eviction-free community launch, eviction-free zone. That's taking place right now. So if you're not watching this show, I don't blame you because there's better things happening. So if you can get out there now, it's on Bryant and 24th, and they probably moved on by now. They're going to go by different people who are being evicted by their apartments. Okay, so how about the Monsanto advocates who said Roundup was safe to drink? So the TV host gave him a quart to drink, and he wouldn't drink it. And then he cussed the host out, and just, yeah. And so that happened. And the hot rental market sparks suspicions of landlord arson in San Francisco, which is displacing more people. Like, you know how they showed the cop with a little kid who had to jump off, and the cop caught him and his dog. That was a nice story, but, you know, how did he get burned out of his place in the fair? You know, that's questionable. Hot rental markets, landlord arson. So watch out, people. Put up cameras. Okay. And the corporate herb gatekeepers, that's who we're fighting right now. MCLR is, that's the 99%. And the 1% is the corporate herb gatekeepers. And so we need to occupy the herb for everyone to grow, not just a few herb gatekeepers like Monsanto. They want power. They know there's money in it. And let's have no profits from education, healthcare, elections, war, prison, and law enforcement. And you can add a lot of other things to that list. Yes, and that's been affirmed in the SF Weekly, in the snitch section. Only black people being targeted and arrested in the Tenderloin by DEA, SFPD Joint Task Force. So, yeah, they are. Very much so, and it's happening tonight. And the supervisor's proposal seeks to monitor new construction for affordability. It's a bit late for that. Let's make it retroactive so that they have to make up for all the stuff they haven't built since all this luxury stuff went in. Otherwise, we're just going to have an oligarch. I don't know. It's going to be like a little fiefdom of oligarchs. So, the cannabis initiative is going to be that petition is going to come out, I think, at the hemp festival out at the Cow Palace, and that's going to be over the weekend. Excuse me. And the medical marijuana financial landscape to change, the financial ramifications of the CARES Act in Huffington's Post, and it's not good, people. And the man who filmed Eric Garner's death, well, he finally made bail. He was afraid to eat. Maybe somebody had poisoned him for taking videos of Eric Garner, the guy in Staten Island who was shot by the police. My dad was shot by the police in 1969. I'll talk about that in another show. Okay, and how about the guy getting a head transplant? Oh, ooh, can you imagine? He's just trying to get ahead. Okay, the pot lawsuit could threaten medical marijuana programs across the nation. So they're talking, non-medical marijuana states are complaining about marijuana being brought to their states, to the states where it's illegal. So there's going to be a tussle about that, and maybe it'll make the Supreme Court, maybe it won't. SF Mayor Ed Lee serves notice about supporting Aaron Peskin, because Mayor Lee does not like Aaron Peskin because he's too progressive. Aaron Peskin used to be the head of the Board of Supervisors. Now he's running for supervisor again. So, and the U.S. government confirms that marijuana, or cannabis, I don't like to call it marijuana because it's just, I don't like to call it that. It's cannabis. Marijuana is just, it's kind of racist, really. I mean, if you want to talk about racism, marijuana is just a slang that it has meaning that is just not very nice. So cannabis is the word, but I'm just retweeting what someone tweeted. It's not a word I like. So Monsanto creates first genetically modified strain of marijuana. I've got a few things I'm going to read about that. So the lawsuit would be in Oklahoma, Nebraska, because they're near Colorado, and well, also the research of cannabis was carried out by the National Institute on Drug Abuse, which is funded by the federal government, and animal studies have shown that marijuana can kill certain cancer cells and reduce the size of others. So let's talk more about Monsanto now. The federal law criminalizes marijuana and hemp derivatives because public opinion is still against it, and legal commercial production in the U.S. is currently handled by a patchwork of small farmers who are not trusted by investors. A major player as Monsanto could bring confidence within government and towards investors in the market if it were to own a large part of the exploitable lands and commercial products. So there's presently no way to control the production of marijuana and the quality of the strains. A genetically modified strain produced by a company with the credentials and prestige of Monsanto. I don't know where they get off saying they have any prestige. Drink some Roundup. I'd like to see those people guzzle, knock back some Roundup. Blah, blah, blah. Yep, do it. I want to watch. Take videos. Would definitely lend a massive hand to pro-legalization activists within certain spheres of government and within the business world. So that's scary. GMO, Monsanto and their GMOs would give confidence to the industry. I mean, and obviously that would take away growers like us, cottage growers, those who grow small amounts of unusual buds. So all those things are get on Twitter, so give me a follow and I'll follow you back. Now, I wanted to say more about the eviction later. We've got about 8 more minutes, so I want to cover more about ASA and Cal Normal members who are members of this club that are probably don't agree with the way the direction the politics are going, but they're loyal members, and we understand that. But you've got to be tired of Americans for Safe Access and Normal's failure to create and support a straightforward initiative that will defend and increase Californian citizens' rights under Prop 215. A coalition of groups, they're not alone if they're dissatisfied with it. They want to, because Prop 215 needs to be expanded, just like Social Security. A coalition of groups, including the California Cannabis Coalition, Crusaders for Patients' Rights, a Yuba chapter of ASA, and Orange County chapter of Cal Normal, today filed a short and simple initiative to protect and increase Californians' right to grow and use marijuana. Cannabis. The new initiative is called the Compassionate and Sensible Access Act and was filed as a statewide constitutional initiative, which would give it more teeth than even Prop 215, which is great. Prop 215, if you remember, we voted for in the 90s, the mid-90s. And so with the MCLR going up, there's a fundraiser, and it's going to start at 3 p.m. Let's see, where is it going to be? Oh, yeah, well, anyway, they want to say thank you to everyone who put it together. The benefits of MCLR are low-income veterans, disabled, elderly, and the terminally ill, and then we really want it to be law. So I'm going to be talking about the petition real soon. By 4:20 it'll be out, and happy 4:20, by the way. It's I guess it's Monday. So it was an open source, like I said. So we have got also there's a tax in Congress. This is about Comcast. Now we're being broadcast over them, so I gotta watch out what I say, I guess. But I really shouldn't have to, because I'm not being paid to say anything. So if they want to cut the sound, go ahead. But Comcast, it's not cool what they're doing. They want to take away net neutrality. It just launched an all-out attack on net neutrality in Congress using a special procedural rule in the Congressional Review Act. Their goal is to completely overturn the public's historic victory at the FCC as soon as they can. And the government was forced to listen to the public, and now these corrupt politicians are willing to sell off our rights for their own financial gain. So it's shocking. It's stacking the deck in their favor. They've got like tens of millions of dollars, and but we've got to band together and stop them. And it's doable. So I'm just saying, something to worry about. So I'd like to see you follow me on Twitter. That'd be great. Denise Dory. I've picked up 300 followers in the last 2 weeks. I don't know how I did that, but now I wanted to say, is your building for sale? Are you getting a new owner? Have they served you with an eviction notice? There's a big community network waiting to help you. You have options. If it's landlord harassment, landlord not cashing your checks, renovation plans, if they offer to buy you out for a small amount. Remember those Latino guys who were offered $1,300 each to move, and they could do, I hope they did better than that. So if you receive a summons, go in person to the Eviction Defense Collaborative on 995 Market Street. I think it's a super ugly green building, but anyway, it's Market and 6th Street, Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 11:30 and 1 to 3. You have 3 days from when the notice was served. So that's, I guess, weekends count. So if you get it Friday, don't put it off. Go Friday. Put off cancel whatever plans you have. So bring your relevant papers. And the website is evictiondefense.org. And they've got tenant counseling, too, at the Housing Rights Committee of San Francisco. And Just Cause has counseling, too, the Tenants Union, La Raza Centro Legal, the Asian Law Caucus. So there's quite a few places you can go to get help with your eviction, because I know what it's like. It's happened to me, and it's scary. I hope it, and if it is happening to you, please do something soon. Don't put it off. So there's a Tenants' Rights Fair 2015. Knowledge is Power on April 25th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Tenderloin School, and that's on 627 Turk Street. I guess it would be Turk near Polk, something like that. So it'll be in English, Spanish, Cantonese, and it's hosted by the Anti-Displacement Coalition. So, and the mission, the Tenants Association's coalition meets on Tuesday, May 12th, 6 p.m., 230 Eddy. 230 Eddy is right next to where I live at the Ritz Hotel. So that would be a good place to go, too, to talk to other people that have had the same problem you've had. You could talk, you know, because there's a lot of ideas. Now, they're also they're talking about changing the LED lights in the Tenderloin. They're talking about converting most of them to LEDs, which will improve the visibility from that to that, which you can probably see a little bit of it. So I think it's a nice idea. It'll take less energy, and they've got different designs. So then that would eliminate the need for, somebody wanted to make it safer by taking away parking spaces. But I think if you want to make it safer, just light it, have lights, so people can see where they're going to, and things like that. So also, let's see, I've got 1 minute left, and I wanted to remind you to give to BAVAC.org. BAVAC.org is a very worthy organization from where which I'm broadcasting now. BAVAC.org helps people start new careers. They're very unique. They've been around since the 1970s. Low-income youth, complete training. I've seen them here. They're real cute. And 125 community producers make public access television shows. I'm one of them. It's the most fun I ever had, really. So get involved somehow. Go to BAVAC.org. And they're nice techies. You hear, I know people talk trash about it, but they're really nice here. And come on down and see us. And also, please watch Psychic Frank's show. He's on the second and fourth Thursday at 5 p.m. He gives great readings. He's got an hour show on this channel. And also, my show is on Friday, tomorrow. And Let's Talk Sports will be coming up in 7 more minutes, so check them out. Okay, thanks, and we'll see you next time in early May. Bye-bye.